Right? Now, let us go through a few points which I think are very important for us. Because when I started by telling you, we only think of intimacy as sexual intimacy. Sexual intimacy is nothing else but having sex. Or coming too close to someone because I want that sexual excitement. That is one form of intimacy. And that's the common one everybody refers to. There is also an emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy. You are able to share a wide range of both positive and negative feelings without having any fear of judgment or reaction. I share my emotions with others. I'm not afraid of being rejected. When I lost my mother, I cried. I was not afraid of what people would say. My God, you are a man. Men are not supposed to cry. You can keep your saying to yourself. I'm human, I'm emotional. And I have emotional intimacy, a bonding with my late mother. Physical intimacy. It's the delight of being sensual, playful and sensitive to sexual intimacy. So physical intimacy, getting in touch with someone, embracing someone, kissing someone, this is physical intimacy. This normally leads me to sexual intimacy. Just because it leads me there does not make it better. I, as a human being, am able to control it. Though when I know it's taking me beyond the boundaries, beyond the limit, I say, no, I need to put a stop, or I need to change gears. Spiritual intimacy. Spiritual intimacy. Discussing how spiritual works work in my life. I need to respect other people's needs. I need to respect other people's beliefs. I need to somehow believe that my closeness to my personal God makes me an intimate person, a better person. Spiritual intimacy. Conflict intimacy, yes. Conflict intimacy. The ability to work through our differences in a fair way and reach solutions with mutual satisfaction. You and I don't agree. There is a conflict. But we are close to one another. And that closeness should help us to somehow arrive at a solution without hurting the other. It's like conflict resolution. Solving this issue brings us closer to one another. We become intimate with one another. Work intimacy. Work intimacy. You are able to agree on ways to share common tasks, okay, like your home, incomes, pursuing mutual agreed goals, etc. Work intimacy, I think, is best shown in the kitchen. I'm a married person. My wife and I share the chores in the kitchen. I do the washing of the dishes, she does the cooking. Or rather, the other way around. She does the cooking, and after I've had a good meal with her, we share the taste, we share the beautiful dishes prepared. I clear up the table, go to the scullery in the kitchen, and wash the dishes. As I'm washing, she stands there, perhaps enjoying her dessert, but talking to me and keeping me company. Just like when she's cooking, I go and disturb her in a friendly, playful way. Work intimacy. Parenting intimacy. We all have been children. Many of us have children. We need to somehow help our children to grow. Grow in what? In intimacy. I cannot be always disciplining my children. No. I need to discipline them with love. In love. So that they learn to accept that discipline in a loving way. And they grow out of that discipline. Crisis intimacy. crisis in intimacy. You are able to stand together when a crisis arises. There is a problem with me in my workplace. I come and I share it with my wife at home. And she turns around and says, honey, that's your problem. I have nothing to do with it. No. The wife should be able to say, can we sit together and find a resolution? Can we resolve it? Is there a solution? What do you think we need to do together? Can we discuss it? Can we listen to one another? And from each other, we get feedback that may help us to resolve the situation, resolve the conflict. I can't go on my own. I need that closeness. I'm not trying to show I'm superior. I'm not trying to show I'm more a head person. No. We are using our feelings, our sentiments, our emotions to try and settle certain issues. Aesthetic intimacy. We may be two very close friends. I love going and watching beautiful art exhibitions. My partner hates going to art exhibitions, but she loves going to musical concerts. Now, for God's sake, I'm totally deaf to music. I don't understand anything about music. You go for your music, I will go and admire the art gallery. No. I need to go with her, and when I finish, I keep silent so I don't disturb the musician and the rest of the audience. When I come back home, she starts telling me things. I said, honey, can you explain that to me? I don't understand what you're talking. To me, it was just an expensive way of making noise. And then she very gradually, kindly explains, you know, honey, this is what is this. This is what that means. This is what that means. I'll show you my example. And when I go to an art gallery, and she says, you know, I could paint this at home. It looks just like the artist has splashed paint on a canvas. And then I explain to her, sweetheart, you need to realize, you know what? You need to realize the artist is trying to explain confusion. Oh yeah, I can see that now. In confusion, he kept throwing, oh yeah, you got it. So you see, we have learned from each other what is aesthetic intimacy. And finally, play intimacy. Now, what is play intimacy? You see sometimes among couples who are very close to the other, the wife is cooking in the kitchen, and suddenly the hubby comes in and pinches her on her arm. She doesn't scream, she says, wow. Or ow. Okay? It pained her, yes it did. But did she love it? Oh, ask me. She loved it tremendously. Okay, that is play intimacy. Alright? Alright, each person give a slap on the cheek. A gentle one. And then she says, oh, it pained. Oh, it didn't pain, I know that. But she pretends. This is play intimacy. These are simple things in life that help us to understand one another. I hope I've been to some extent clear on what I want to say. But now I'll ask you a few questions which you should try and answer to yourself. And that will help you to develop your own personal intimacy. Right? What kind of relationship do you want? What kind of relationship do you want? What brings you closer to people and what pushes you away from people? What brings you closer? What pushes you away? Check both the things, important. Are you aware of your friends or partners' likes and dislikes? What builds connections in your relationship with them? What is it that brings me close to people? What is it that takes me away? What do people like about me and what do people dislike about me? Jot down. Important. Okay? How close a relationship do you want? Or do they want? You know, I want to be very close to you. I want to be able to hug you and give you a kiss every time I meet you. But he or she is not very comfortable about that. I love having people, I'm talking about myself now. I love people coming around me, but I don't like people coming and kissing me or hugging me. I feel uncomfortable. I'm very happy in sharing other forms of intimacy with people. And my intimacy, believe you, can be very genuine and very sensitive. But I don't like hugging and kissing. Why? Because in my early childhood, I never got hugged or kissed. Simple. So have the courage to speak up like me to yourself. Alright? What time and energy are you willing to put in this relationship? How much of time are you willing to spend with your friend? Alright? How much of energy are you willing to put into that relationship? And the last one, how might you make them aware of your interest in building greater intimacy at different levels? How are you going to help others to build greater intimacy with you? The last one you don't need to answer. I will tell you. The last one is very simple. If you want someone to build a close, intimate relationship with you, how do you expect them to do that? Tell them. You know, whatever your name is, Jacqueline, I really love you. And I want to build up a close relationship. I'm not talking about sexual relationship. Don't get me wrong, Jack. I want to build a close relationship with you. Simple, very simple, but difficult. I don't have the courage to say it directly. I have said it to you over the camera right now with a Roman collar here. So what are you afraid of? Go ahead and say it to the person you care for. Thank you.